Tonight, a Target 12 investigators exclusive historic mistake.
We've learned millions of Rhode Island's most important records, hundreds of years of history, are being stored in a damp basement located in a floodplain.
And in a worst case scenario, documents like that could be destroyed.
Absolutely. That is our biggest fear, is that we will lose these documents to future generations.
The Target 12 investigators were given access to the basement of the state archives, where 6 sump pumps are working around the clock in a battle against water. Few states have a richer history than Rhode Island.
So why are we paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to rent every year to keep these important records in a risky location? Target 12 investigator Tim White has the exclusive details.
The two biggest enemies to documents, of course, are fire and water. Now, every state does its best to protect the underpinnings of their history from both, but Rhode Island isn't doing itself any favors with its most valuable records resting above a constant flow of water.
Gwen Stern knows nothing good happens when the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Your heart goes into your throat.
As the state archivist responsible for millions of records that have shaped Rhode Island's history, Stern's greatest worry is water rising.
I was told by the monitoring company that I had a sump pump failure.
One of 6 sump pumps working around the clock to keep the water at bay.
We are actually the only state archives in the country that's actually in a leased space. We would like to at some point change that.
As Secretary of State, Nellie Gorbea is responsible for the state archives.
Does this keep you up at night?
It does. There are many times when I think about what might happen to these treasures.
The building does have a climate-controlled vault on the first floor for some of the state's most valued documents, but space is limited, so the vast majority of records are kept in the basement. One of Gorbea's priorities, get these records into a permanent, safe, and dry location.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was supposed to be temporary.
This was supposed to be temporary, yes.
And how long has temporary been?
Temporary has been since 1990. So we've been here in temporary locations for a while.
Built in 1925, the building that houses the state archives is located on Westminster Street in Providence. It's owned by a corporation belonging to former mayor and real estate magnate
commercial property Joe
Paolino. The state pays $20,666 a month in rent to Paolino's company, or $248,000 a year. Records reviewed by Target 12 show since 1990, when Rhode Island moved into this temporary location, the state has forked over $5.4 million in rent.
There's a river that runs underneath the floor pad here.
This was the culprit that harrowing night for Stern. Both the main and backup sump pumps in this well failed. Located just feet away, thousands of documents from the Rhode Island banking crisis. And boy, what a lovely smell we've discovered in here.
Yes, I understand that. Maybe methane gas with a little diesel.
A maintenance worker came down in the middle of the night to install another pump, holding back the water for another day.
We need to protect these documents, these historic treasures.
This is one of the sensors that'll sound the alarm if it detects water. They're littered throughout the basement here at the state archives. So, how much will it cost to find a permanent and dry location for these records? Well, Gorbea says it's too soon to say, and they're doing their homework on that question now. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.